we are covering multi-step equations, which really is just a grand review of PO61, which was combining like terms and the distributive property, and PO62, which is solving equations with variables on both sides. And all of this, the goal is to get a two-step equation, because two-step equations should be our comfort zone, right? PO6, that's all you did, was solve two-step equations. You start with the constant, you add or subtract, then you go to the coefficient, you multiply, divide, and you're done. Okay? You're going to get equations that look very different. You know, these equations all have their own little flavor to them, right? But if we can simplify them down to a two-step equation, then it's just standard step, two of them. Okay? So if you think back to combining like terms, the goal of combining like terms, okay, is to create a two-step equation, but we'll call it simplify the equation to get a two-step equation. Simplify, and I should say maybe instead of the equation, simplify like terms. That's probably a more mathematical way to say it. Simplify like terms to get a two-step equation. Simplify like terms to get a two-step equation. And in that first one there, 9x minus 4x plus 3 equals 43, what are the like terms that we can simplify? Think back to PO61. What are the like terms that we can simplify? Josie? 9x and 4x, but remember that subtraction sign belongs to the 4x, right? So it's really 9x minus 4x, which is how many x's? 5. Okay? You have 9 of something, you subtract 4, you're left with 5. Whether x is crayons or dollars or tacos, you start with 9, you take away 4, you've got 5. Because remember, the role of that coefficient, the role of the 9 and the negative 4 is how many of the x, how many of the variables we have. Start with 9, take away 4, you got 5. So 5x plus 3 equals 43, and now we have a two-step equation to solve. Okay? We've combined those like terms, and now we have a two-step equation to solve. We subtract 3, just like in PO6, right? Opposite operations. 5x equals 40. We divide by 5, and x equals 8. Okay? X equals 8. And we can check this answer just like we can a two-step equation, because if we plug in 8 in for x, 9 times 8 minus 4 times 8 plus 3. Well, 9 times 8 is 72. 4 times 8 is 32. We subtract those. 72 minus 32 is 40. And then 40 plus 3 brings us to 43. Okay? Or you can even go back to this one here after you combine, if you want to make doubly sure. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 3 is 43. It works for both. Okay, because starting with 9 eighths and subtracting 4 eighths, you end up with 5 eighths. So why not just write 5x, right, rather than 9x minus 4x. What are the like terms in the next one that we can combine? What are the like terms in the next one? Anthony? 8n and, what do you say? 11n. Josie? Negative 11n. Okay? The subtraction sign has a dual purpose. It means subtraction, yes, but it also belongs to the number. So this term is considered negative 11n. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that is I don't want you to think you have 8 n's and you're adding 11 to them to get 19 n's. You have 8 n's, you're subtracting 11 n's, that gives you negative 3n, right? 8 minus 11 equals negative 3. So negative 3n plus 2 equals 29, right? And notice I'm not using opposite operations to combine these terms here, right? When I took 9x minus 4x, I didn't add 4x to get 13x, I subtracted. 8 minus 11, I didn't add 11, I subtracted. The reason why we're not using opposite operations is because opposite operations is when you move something from one side of the equation to the other. Okay? You move something from one side of the equation to the other. We're not doing that here. We're just combining. But now we have a two-step equation, which means we are going to move stuff from one side of the equation to the other. Subtract 2 from both sides. Negative 3n equals 27. Divide both sides by negative 3. And n equals negative 9. Okay. Questions so far? Last one. 7 minus 10n plus 3 minus 2n equals negative 122. What are the like terms we can combine? Landon. The negative 10n and the negative 2n. What does negative 10 minus 2 give me? Ooh, that's negative 10 plus 2, because you're getting closer to 0. You're going to the right on the number line. Negative 10 minus 2, negative 12. Okay? Negative 12. And then, what else can I do here? Mia?
7 plus 3?
Yeah, 7 and 3. Right? Positive 7, positive 3, they're both constants. It's another set of like terms. And positive 7 and positive 3 give me positive 10. And negative 12n plus 10 equals negative 122. Two-step equation. Comfort zone. We like this, right? Maybe take out a piece of notebook paper and just jot down notes. Subtract 10 from both sides. Negative 12n equals negative 132. Divide both sides by negative 12. And n equals 11. Okay? So again, the goal here for each of these, just simplify those like terms to get that two-step equation, which hopefully by now is becoming your comfort zone. Okay? Light bulbs flickering, shining brightly, birds out. Where are we at here? Again, this is a review of PO61. You've seen this before, but where are we sitting? How are we feeling on October 4th, 2023?
Are you sure that's the date?
We are sure that's the date.
Are we sure?
Yes.
What is that?
William.
I like your time.
Thanks, William. Next type of simplifying is the distributive property. And you do this whenever you see you've got parentheses, which you see all three of our equations have parentheses here. The ones up top didn't. Who remembers what the distributive property is all about? How do we, because the problem here is that according to order of operations, we have to do what's inside the parentheses first, right? Parentheses come first, 3x minus 5, but why can't we do that? Why can't we take 3x minus 5? Anthony?
They're not like terms.
They're not like terms. We don't know what x is. That's not what we're solving for, right? So we're kind of in a box, okay? Because those parentheses, we're supposed to do them first, but we can't. So the way around that is saying, instead of multiplying the group 3x minus 5 times 7, we're going to multiply each term individually by 7, right? So this would become 7 times 3x minus 7. I should write that a little bit different way. Plus 7 times negative 5. Remember that sign belongs to the 5 there, right? So we're taking that 7 and we're distributing it into parentheses and multiplying each term in the parentheses by that coefficient 7. And what is 7 times 3x? 21x. Positive 7 times a negative 5 is a negative 35, and total that equals 7. Okay? We good? Recall? Maybe? No? Okay, well then this is new, okay? Well, no, but you take that coefficient on the outside of the parentheses and distribute into each term in the parentheses, okay?
So you just take the 7 and multiply by 3 and multiply by 5?
Yeah.
5?
Essentially, yeah.
It's just 7 times. I get
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep. And now we have a two-step equation. We can add 35 to both sides. 21x equals 42. Divide both sides by 21. And x equals 2. Again, two-step equation. Okay. The next one, I guess I anticipated us being a little more familiar with this than we are. So maybe flip the page so you have a blank sheet of paper, because this is not going to be on the bio. This will be extra. But on that sheet, do this one for me quick. Take 9 and then 2x plus 3 equals 113. Okay, and at least get the distribution part down. At least try and solve the whole thing. But 9 times 2x plus 3 equals 113. Do it on a blank part because it's not on your page. Just for the practice here, okay? And raise your hand, not when I'm calling you. I just want to see when people are done. Raise your hand when you're finished. So we can kind of gauge where folks are at. Again, I won't call on you unless you want to be called, but just so I can gauge who's done. Oh, hold on. Not 113.
Seriously?
117. Sorry. Sorry.
Wait, can you use my eraser?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So my eraser is like.
What?
I mean, your eraser.
Sorry to hear that. John Ryan, now that it works out nicely? Yeah. Okay, now when you finish up, raise your hand. Again, not that I'm calling you, just so I can know that you are done working on it. My apologies. Okay. So what we're going to do when we distribute here is we're going to distribute the 9, multiply 9 by 2x to get 18x. So far so good? Okay. And then multiply 9 by positive 3, which is positive 27. So your equation, after you distribute, should read 18x plus 27. Here's some common mistakes that folks make to watch out for. Sometimes instead of multiplying, people add. So if you have 11x or you have 12, that was your mistake. You added instead of multiplied. Okay. Number 2, sometimes folks forget to multiply by the constant. So if you have 18x plus 3, that was your mistake there. Okay. Any other whoopsie-doos people want to bring to attention so we can discuss? It can't be worse than what I did, so don't be afraid to share. No? Okay. So now it equals 117. Here's our two-step equation. Subtract 27 from both sides. That gives us 18x equals 90. Divide both sides by 18. And x equals 5. Instead of 4 point whatever that you got when I had the wrong answer. Okay? Feel better? Are we okay? You know, I deleted the say something button because we were off to such a good start this year with participating and everything. But if I have to put the say something button back, okay. Well, I'm okay. So this next one here, 7 minus 2 times n minus 6. We have to be careful. Okay. What are we going to be distributing into the parentheses? What's the coefficient to n minus 6? Dominic.
2.
Not just the 2. Remember that sign belongs to it, -2. What you don't want to do, and everyone listen up to me here. Hey, eyes on me. Here we go. Okay? What you can't do, it's mathematically illegal to subtract this first and then like distribute in a 5. Why is that mathematically illegal to do here? What did I say? Basically everything mathematical comes back to this. Do I ever divide? Perm dots, okay? We can't subtract before we multiply. The whole reason why we have the distributive property is because we've got this problem with the parentheses. We have to have some way around it because we can't do n minus 6, right? But we certainly cannot subtract 7 minus 2 to get 5 before we distribute the -2 into our parentheses. So that 7 just kind of chills right now. It just comes on down for the ride. We essentially ignore it for this first step. It's not part of the -2n, right? -2 times n, -2n, -2 times -6, positive 12, and that equals 39. Okay. Now, combine like terms. Here's the 7 and that positive 12. What do 7 and 12 make? Anthony? No. Positive 7 and positive 12. You're thinking opposite operations, but I'll remind you, are we moving the 7 and the 12 from one side of the equation to the other? No. We only use opposite operations when we move something. We're not doing that. We're combining. So Anthony, I'll give you a second try here. 7 and 12 make what? Positive 7, positive 12 makes 19. So -2n plus 19 equals 39. Why it's positive 12 is because you have a -2 and a -6. And a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? We'll pick up here tomorrow. No homework for tonight. Do remember Khan Academy is due tomorrow. So without homework tonight, that should be your priority. That's how you math, folks.
Don't forget to like